What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Spread the Positive podcast. I'm your host, Trent Denson. We got a super special show for y'all today. My guy, Brett Maverick, we just met, connected through Dave and Jan Dalton over at eBars. Shouts to the fam over at eBars. If you're in that circle, I know you're good people. So, Brett, man, welcome to the show.
Yeah, man, appreciate it. Happy to be here.
Absolutely, awesome. Dude. So, this is kind of how I always do it. I love to take it back to young Brett, what you were into as a kid, kind of early passions, what childhood was like, everything like that, man. Take me back.
So, starting off, I had a great childhood, great family. I played sports my whole life. That's what I was into.
Feel you. Same.
From as early as I could be.
There you go.
But yeah, just started off playing sports. Played all through elementary, middle school, high school. Had a pretty normal childhood for the most part. Love fishing and hunting.
There you go.
You know, I'm from a small town in West Tennessee.
Okay.
So we had to find things to do.
There you go.
That makes sense. Mm-hmm, you know, we didn't have a lot going on there. So there's a lot of hanging out.
Sports and kicking it.
Yeah, man.
I feel that.
That's all we had. But it was great. It was a great place to grow up. And I had a lot of good people behind me and with me the whole time. So it was awesome. Yeah.
Nice, man.
Great place.
Awesome. So we talked a little off mic. You were talking special forces and some other stuff, getting in and some COVID mandates and some other stuff. You wanna touch on that real quick?
Yeah. We can lead up to it for sure.
Okay.
It goes back, even to like when I was playing sports and everything like that. Like I've never taken like pre-workout or energy drinks, kind of like we were talking about earlier.
What's the basis behind that? Just
dude, I remember like taking a pre-workout before a football game in high school one time, and like I just got that like jittery feeling and just felt real weak.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I was just like, dude, I can't do this.
I love it. It's a terrible feeling.
It's a weird, even back then, like when you don't think about anything, when you don't even think what's going on or what you're taking.
Sure.
And even then, I was like, man, I do not like how this makes me feel. After that, I would drink energy drinks, Red Bull and stuff like that, but it wasn't for any purpose of like trying to enhance a workout.
Sure.
Or anything. I was just drinking it because it tastes good.
Sure.
But the older you get, the more in tune with what you're putting in your body you become.
Yep.
So throughout the years, like in my 20s and stuff, like I still wasn't taking pre-workouts or drinking energy drinks at that point.
Gotcha.
I just, I'd always get that like jittery feeling after that. And
no good.
It turns into where you don't want that. Like, it's just not good.
Mm-hmm.
But rolling into to all of the special forces stuff. I mean, I was never in special forces, never was in the military per se. I tried to be multiple times. So it just, it wasn't God's plan for me, essentially. And, when it started during COVID 2020, which I was 30.
I kind of glossed over high school to 30, man.
Yeah.
Like,
we went from 18 to 30 pretty quick.
Man. Sorry, take us back just a little. Like what was after high school and all that, man? Sorry, man.
Which I didn't tell you that's when I started. Like,
this wasn't that look young, ago, man. I thought you
No, dude, I'm 33.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm getting old. Yeah.
Sorry. Okay.
After high school, I went to a small Christian school with a bunch of buddies of mine.
Okay.
And was there for a year, and then we all kind of went a different way or went to different schools. We all transferred out of there pretty much. But in when was that? 2010, I guess. 2009, 2010, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't playing sports anymore. And so I decided to start bull riding.
Okay.
Yeah, weirdly enough, everybody has the same reaction.
Okay. See, I'm glad we're taking it back, man. My bad.
Dude, it's weird.
We glossed over 12 important years
here.
Yeah.
But
bull riding.
Started bull riding, man, and And I did that for about 4 years, and it was a lot of fun. Ended up going to UT Martin.
Okay. That's where my parents went.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
Dude, go Skyhawks. But
That's right.
went to UT Martin, rode on the rodeo team there.
Nice.
And I mean, I wasn't great at it. I mean, I had never done it growing up, and all these guys that are doing it, like they've been doing it,
Yeah.
like when I started off doing sports as a child,
They were bull
they're
riding.
bull riding.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
They're
crazy.
getting on broncs and all kinds of
Yeah.
stuff, and so I wasn't great at it, but in my mind, I was, I've always been the type where it's like, if I'm gonna do it,
I'm
I
gonna
wanna,
get good.
yeah,
I feel you. I'm
I
gonna
want,
get good.
I want to do the thing that's gonna impress the girls.
That's right. That's
like
right.
so.
That's right.
So, what better way to show off, how dumb you are than to
Hey,
like,
tough, man. Dumb and tough.
get
You gotta
on
be
get on
dumb. You
back
gotta
of a
be
bull
tough.
a few
Yeah.
times. Yeah.
I
So,
hear you.
but yeah, bull rode for a few years. I had a few concussions from it. But it was fun.
Yeah.
It's a crazy adrenaline rush, and that's the addictive part of it.
Yeah.
Is
That dopamine.
like a lot of people are like, dude, that's crazy. But when you're 20, 21, 22,
It's probably a good time to do it. I
one,
guess.
you're bulletproof.
Oh, 100%.
And your bones are still rubber.
Yeah.
So, you can get hurt a little bit easier and recover.
100%.
But yeah, definitely suffered. I think I had at least 3 concussions from that
Ouch.
within a 4-year span.
Okay.
So it wasn't like great. It wasn't
Yeah.
great for my brain.
Yeah.
But had a lot of fun. And got to travel around and, do rodeos and, play cowboy for a little while.
That's
and
awesome.
It was
Got the
cool.
big belt buckles and
Yeah,
stuff.
I've got one.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got one.
All right.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun, man. I had a great time doing that. Met some cool people, and you kind of formed some friendships from that.
Heck yeah.
But other than that, went to Martin. I had a blast there, and ended up meeting one of my best friends there, which we'll fast forward this into what's going on today.
Cool.
And how he's pretty instrumental in a lot of things that
Nice, man.
I've got upcoming, which is kind of crazy how all that stuff works.
I love that stuff. Yeah.
But
those college bonds are different, man.
dude, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Mhm.
And it's like like if you catch a buddy
Oh, yeah.
that you get out of college, it's
So,
different.
it
It's
really
different
is,
than like
man.
your childhood friend.
Yeah, man. I can call 10,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
10 or so that
Right.
we were just super tight.
Yeah.
All through
And it's
college.
like because you do that's when you do like some of your dumbest stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
So like they're
Lucky to
they're
still
in it
be
with
here.
it. Yeah.
Yeah,
And they're in it with you the whole way through.
Absolutely.
So
That's
but
real.
yeah, dude, it's he's a solid dude.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so we I had a great time through college and with my buddy there. And let's see what we did next. After that, after that, so I thought we'll go back into it, but I thought that it was going to kind of be a full circle thing in 2020 when I decided to try to go in special forces.
Gotcha, okay.
Because after bull riding, me and Adam, the guy that I ended up being best friends with, dude, we would go out and come back, and what we would do or watch uh the SEAL training videos, the Buds class. I think it's 237, something like that. They have a DVD. So we would go out, and then that's what we would do when we come back, and we would just watch these SEAL training videos. Because at the time, it's like, dude, let's go to the SEALs.
Wow. That's a different level.
So like we would do that, and the internet wasn't really what it is today. Obviously,
Sure.
like we didn't
I
have
remember.
social media or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Thank God.
So, dude, I know how fun, how great. Like you look back at it,
Right, thank you.
and you're like, dude,
we
that was the
did.
greatest.
We were
Yeah,
we were on the front end of Facebook and stuff. But
yeah. It was like that was before everybody posted everything.
Camera was everywhere.
Right.
Yeah, 100%.
So it was. Like you tell people now, like that are younger, and that's
no,
all they
what?
know
Yeah.
is social media. And it's like, dude, you could do
Dumb
anything,
stuff.
and you weren't going to get blasted on
get
the
canceled
internet.
always.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, dude, it was the best
It was a
time.
great
It was like
time.
the last frontier of like
kind of
doing
freedom,
dumb
yeah.
stuff. And
Yeah.
So it was awesome.
It
But
took some
like,
effort to document the dumb stuff. It was like Jackass.
oh,
stuff
dude,
like
you had to
that.
upload it.
Yeah,
Like it took
days.
24 hours to upload it on
Literally.
YouTube. Like it
Literally.
wasn't worth it. You know, like
1000%.
the effort wasn't there.
100%.
Cameras weren't good.
Yeah.
Like you couldn't live stream anything. So
so good. That's great.
dude, you were able to like get away with a lot of stuff that today you can't do.
Yeah,
Like you just
100%.
can't. But
That's
yeah,
really
dude,
funny.
it was. But like we would, like I said, we were, and you know, so
The fact
without
that y'all were doing Navy SEALs videos, I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, that's
dude,
just, y'all are doing some
we were
intense
at
work.
least watching it, you
Okay.
know, and like getting an idea of what it was going to be like. Because I mean, they filmed a legit buds class.
Wow.
It was the first phase, so it's like the weed out phase.
Wow.
So you know, we had an idea of what it would look like, but like today, you have so many SEAL influencers that come up with, you know, training manuals or
sure.
workout manuals or anything like that to help prepare you to get to that point. But we didn't have that back then. So all we were doing were just seeing how many push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, and how far we could run
Yeah.
on like a daily basis. Like we got to where we were running like 10 miles a day.
Yeah.
You know.
That's awesome.
But we just didn't know any better. You
Right.
know, it's like we just are gonna have to get it in the best shape as we can. But anyway, we were wanting to do that for a while, and then you know, when you're 20, 21 years old, you know, you chase the next shiny thing. So
100%.
I actually kind of got into music.
Nice.
And you're gonna sit there, you're gonna have the same face that you had when I told you I was bull riding, but I got into like EDM.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like, dude, and it's weird. Like you listen to me talk.
It's a little surprising.
You listen to me talk.
It's a little surprising.
And it's like, you know, you're a bull rider, like grew up in a small towns. But dude, I love EDM.
That's
music.
amazing.
Like I listen to it. I was listening to it on the way here.
I love it.
Like it's like I don't know what it does.
It's therapeutic.
It is something, dude.
Yeah.
It's like a tribal thing.
Sure.
It's like the beat to it. It does it like gets me amped up.
I love it.
And
it's hilarious.
Dude, it's so weird. But I mean, I just do like when I was like, even when I was in high school, like Sandstorm and like all of that, like I love that. And all my other friends were like, this is like techno stupid, you know?
So funny.
and like so but I was just like, that's kind of cool, you know.
Yeah,
but
hey,
no, dude,
follow
like,
your heart, man.
dude, I just loved like I loved old like that 90s techno style. Like I
That's
just
great.
It's like that the high BPMs, you
Yeah.
know, hitting that 120 mark where it's just like doom, doom, doom,
mhm.
like it's just rhythmic to me.
I love that.
So
I appreciate that for sure.
It gets me going. And so anyway, went to a festival, and it was it was a weekend where I was in Atlanta. I was another weird thing. I was an extra in the Hunger Games, the second Hunger Games.
That's amazing.
Yeah, dude, it was also just kind of a random like wild thing. But
do you have some screen time?
A little bit. Like I mean, it's like you can see me.
Okay,
I'm not like speaking or anything like that. But
that's awesome.
But yeah, it's like I'm in one of the scenes.
That's awesome.
And it was filmed in Atlanta, but it was a really cool experience too. And so there's a lot of downtime with movies like that. And I mean, it took us 3 days, I think, to shoot a 15-minute scene, maybe.
Wow.
So, and you're working, it's like 12-hour nights.
Wow.
So like you start at like 6 p.m. and it goes to 6 a.m.
Wow.
But there's a lot of just standing around and doing nothing.
Sure.
So when you're standing around doing nothing, which this was the cool part, like the best part of the whole experience was, like all the main actors were standing there. So like our job was to pretty much stand around the actors. And
Sick.
it was like
Jennifer Lawrence is right there.
Right, yeah.
Wow.
And it was like we worked for a modeling agency out of Atlanta, which is another weird thing. But like so we got casted to do that. So we're just basically standing around. So it's like Jennifer Lawrence is right there, and Woody Harrelson is hanging out with us and like talking to us. And
Dude, that's cool.
Dude, he's freaking awesome.
That's
like,
awesome.
He's so cool, so funny. He's awesome. And Donald Sutherland was out there, and this was when Philip Seymour Hoffman was still alive.
Wow.
So he's like in that area, and And like, so during that dead time, we're just like hanging out with them.
With legends.
Yeah, and
Wow.
like talking to them and hanging out, and it's awesome. Like
That's
it's
super
really
cool.
cool.
Wow.
But anyway, so I was doing that weekend, and some buddies and I were going to going to this EDM festival.
Nice.
We're all from the same town, which is, but we're going to this EDM festival. So I have to miss the first 2 days because of that. But I get so we go to we get done at like 8 a.m. that Saturday from shooting, and we go back to a friend's house and we're just hanging out. And I leave there at like 9 o'clock and in the morning, go straight to the festival in the middle of nowhere outside of Atlanta, Georgia,
Sure.
in a field. And I think I take about a 30-minute nap on a lawn chair at the festival. And then we get up and like go in.
Sure.
And so this is like my first EDM festival or anything
Okay.
like that. And this is when like Skrillex was real big.
Okay.
Like that era,
Sick. Yeah,
2010.
yeah.
And dubstep and all that got real big. But anyway, so went in and like saw amazing DJs. Like the first 5 DJs that we saw are just, it's like Avicii, Skrillex,
Wow.
Pretty Lights, and like Zed's Dead.
Nice, dude.
So I mean, I don't know if anybody's gonna know who those are,
Of course
but
they will,
but
yeah.
they're huge DJs, and like, this is like when they all were like starting.
That's like peak.
That's
then.
it's like
Or
the gold. It's like when
yeah,
the start of the golden era of,
yeah, for
of
sure.
EDM, and like
100%.
Avicii's dead
R.I.P.,
now,
man.
so
God
like
bless the dead.
it's crazy. That was
Yeah.
like, dude, that was like my first shows, like
Wow.
seeing all of these
That's
guys.
incredible.
And but anyway, it was just like it's such a crazy experience,
Yeah.
and I was like, dude, I want to do this,
So you got into the DJ
and
world?
that's how I got into the DJ world. So
Okay.
like right after that
Bull riding,
festival,
music, model, DJ. All right, cool.
so right
I'm
after
tracking.
I got off of that, or we left, and so I bought some turntables and like
Went all in.
went on.
Let's
Like
go.
started doing like, I don't know,
Anywhere.
frat parties,
Anything. Hey,
whatever.
right.
Like
Whatever.
anybody that would let me come DJ. Like I was doing it for free. I didn't care.
100%. Yeah.
But so that's what I did, and ended up I ended up moving to Seattle to basically learn how to DJ. And that's kind of the wild part about it. But moved to Seattle and learned how to DJ, and was like getting to play some like big shows there
Dude,
and
that's
stuff. Like
amazing.
kind of got plugged in with people that were in that kind of realm, and they knew what was going on. And like promotional guys and stuff.
Yeah.
So I got to play some like cool shows and meet some cool people. And played a little bit on the West Coast, and then decided I was like, I'm gonna move back to Tennessee and try to start a scene here. Well, that was dumb. Like,
Hey,
I mean,
worth a shot.
it didn't happen.
Okay.
But
We'll cut.
yeah,
Spoiler alert.
yeah,
Didn't quite happen. Okay.
didn't work out.
That's
But
all right.
so I mean, just you try to make that stuff go on. But I did get to play some cool shows when I moved back to Nashville. Played the M Street New Year's party
Nice.
in
I used to work at
2017.
MC or Virago.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
worked at San Diego.
Okay.
Yeah.
When?
That would have been then, like 2017.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little before that.
Yeah. So 2017, I was working at San Diego, and
M Street's wild.
it is wild.
It's
dude.
wild. It's a wild world.
I mean, is it still going?
Yeah.
Is it?
Thriving.
I mean, I know the restaurants are still. I just didn't know if it was like still M Street.
I think so.
It's
Pretty
like
sure.
the same owner. That
Pretty
whole
sure.
deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude, it's a lot of fun.
It was.
When you're like in your 20s.
It was
dude,
a
That's
great.
a cool
great
place.
time for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to do the New Year's show, which was it was a big crowd. It was fun.
Was it like in the little? Was it like in the street right there? Or?
So it was in that like warehouse behind San Diego.
Okay,
and
yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
they like cleared that whole thing out.
That's sick.
Put a big stage
I bet that
in,
was
lights.
Yeah, I bet that was sick.
It was cool, and it was kind of like a center stage. So I had people like in front of me, to the side, and behind me.
Dang,
so
that's
it was kind of cool how they set that up. But it was a great party. And then I played one more after that in 2018, and it was the Project Underground, and they had, I don't know, probably 15 different DJs,
Nice.
and so I got a headline, got the headline spot for that show, and
That's
it was
awesome, man.
awesome. It was awesome. It was like a great show to end on.
Yeah.
Um,
Go out with a bang. For sure.
yeah,
There you
and
go.
but I'd hit a point where I was like, dude, if I don't do something, like I'm gonna be bartending, and I'm gonna look back and wake up and be 40 years old and still
Bartend,
be
yeah.
bartending and trying to make it as a DJ. So,
Feel you, man. Feel you.
so
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people have that awakening at some point where it's like I've got to make a move,
For sure.
But yeah.
So
So
then,
moved to Chattanooga,
okay.
and worked logistics as a sales rep for a year. It was awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sitting in a cubicle, cold calling 100 people a day.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Man,
that's brutal.
It was awful. Some cool people there,
Yeah.
but yeah, the job itself was awful. And then it's one of those where you like, after about 6 months, you're like, I've done the same thing every day
Yeah, bro.
at the same time for the same hours, like,
Yeah.
and I'm just not that way,
Yeah.
dude. Like I can't
I can tell.
I can't do
The
that.
brief,
Like,
the brief time I've known you, I can
right.
put that together
Yeah,
real
it's
quick.
like if I like have a ceiling on me, then
Yeah.
it just drives me
I feel you.
insane.
I love that.
So it wasn't for me, but I did that for a year, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna move to Texas.
Okay.
Like I've always wanted to live out in Texas. I love Texas. It's a great state. And so I was like trying to transition out of Chattanooga to go to Texas. And at that point, I was just kind of calling connections that I had out there to see what kind of jobs I could do.
Mhm.
Wasn't looking for anything specific. And a friend of mine called me one day and was like, "Hey, this guy is wanting to start a production company in Fort Worth, and he wants me to run it." And at the time, this guy didn't. He was younger. He was 21, I think, at the time, but he just got into DJing.
Okay.
So like I sold him my equipment
Gotcha.
and like
Gotcha.
was helping him, teaching him how to do that. And so this opportunity came up, and he said, he was like, "Dude, I don't know what I'm doing. Do you want to come like help me run this?" And I was just like, "Yeah, dude, that's
That's the dream,
that's
kind of.
like that's what I've been trying to do this whole
Yeah. Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
And so the opportunity came, and I moved out to Fort Worth, and we started this production company. We called it Wild Star Productions. And the
Love it.
reason we called it Wild Star was because the owner of it was the guy that owned Wild Acre Brewery, which is a brewery in Fort Worth. He owned Wild Acre Brewery and Silver Star Whiskey.
There you go.
So it was just Wild Star. And so we built a venue there, and had it LLC and all that good stuff. Uh and we're working on, and I'll go straight back to it. But uh I was literally talking to somebody about this the other day, and basically about um a- you know, you think all these doors shut in your face and you don't know why.
Oh, 100%.
And and we'll get into it a little bit later, but we're talking about like, jumping from one thing to the next and all this, and it's like, this isn't for me, this isn't
Mhm.
for me. And you may get these opportunities and they just slam in your face,
Sure.
right? So like this is kind of where all that started.
Okay.
And so we had this, and it lasted about 6 months. And after about 6 months, like we built the venue, like getting ready to go. And at this point, it was January of 2019.
Okay.
So January of 2019, and another company ended up buying out WildStar Productions. And so the guy that essentially was the head investor,
Yeah.
the main guy, he sold it out from under us. Like didn't say anything, just like, "Hey guys, just sold it." And we're like, what? Like, all right. So
Any type of severance
dude,
or anything
so I mean, we got what we
put into it, kind of.
well, we got what we had left, what we were owed.
Got you.
Um,
Dang, man.
and and got a little bit from it, but that was it. And
Dang.
yeah, it's kind of weird. It's like jerked it out from under you, right?
Right.
So, um, but dude, ended up being a blessing
Sure.
because a month later,
Yeah.
COVID hits,
Man.
and so, and obviously, like no one did any kind of music events or
Yeah, dude,
anything
that could
like
have been
that for
awful.
a
Yeah.
year, so
Right.
like it would have failed
Fail.
regardless.
Right.
Like, but that was just like one of those blessings in disguise
Wow.
at the time that you're sitting there going,
Yeah.
what is happening to
Thank God.
thank God this happened,
Wow. Dang, dude,
um,
that's crazy.
and that wild, just
Mhm.
crazy how that happened. So, I said January, not 2019, January 2020 is when
Okay.
that
All right.
started. Yeah.
Gotcha. I was a little confused.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. So we were in 2019 when it all started, and then January 2020 is when we sold.
Got you. Got you.
Um,
That adds up.
so, but anyway, so COVID hits.
You're still in Fort Worth?
Yeah, at the time,
Okay.
and I moved back to Tennessee
Gotcha.
when he sold out and all that. Um, and so I was in Savannah, like nobody was doing anything. So I was back home, and and I was basically just hanging out. Like, so I didn't have anything to do. And my hometown's a small town, and so I started working at Lowe's just to have something to do.
Sure.
And so I was working at Lowe's in the appliance department. So if you got any appliance questions, man,
You up to speed on it?
I can get you. I can get you in the right washing machine or
That's incredible.
dishwasher or whatever
That's
you need.
amazing. That's so good.
But they didn't take a break, man. It's
Yeah,
like
Lowe's was cute. You just kept cracking.
COVID didn't exist for them.
Yeah, right.
So
I love that.
so you just put something around your face and
You
went
kept it
on.
moving.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So I did that for a few months, but like COVID's a terrible thing, and like in it it ended up being what it is. But uh honestly, dude, like that summer was one of the best summers of my
Dude,
life.
yeah. I don't want to.
You
Yeah.
don't want to like say it because like some people like lost people and
Yeah. 100%.
all that
My
and
life didn't change that much. I was in real estate and doing this stuff and
yeah,
deemed essential or whatever. And
yeah,
my day to day did not change much. And
right.
most everybody was, hanging out and,
Dude, that's
doing
all we
whatever.
did,
I
man.
know. Quite a
Like
bit of partying, quite a bit of hanging
that's
out. Yeah.
that's all it
Yeah.
was, dude.
Yeah.
Like, and we don't make fun of it. Like we make fun of what we were doing
Yeah.
at the time,
I felt really bad. There was times where I felt super guilty. But
dude.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was one of those
It
things.
was a weird time.
Like
So weird.
me and one of my buddies
Playing so much golf.
dude, that's all you. I mean, we hung out at a pool every day.
Right.
It was like being Billy Madison. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
you just it's like you're just hanging out by the pool just with your buddies, and that's all you're doing.
Yeah.
And so like I would, I would go work, a few hours and sling some appliances and
Heck yeah.
all that stuff. And then but like if I wasn't working or whenever I get off, like we were going over to my friend's house who had a pool and a hot tub, and that's what we did every day.
Mhm.
And this is gonna sound rough, but when it was at its hot, one of our buddies is a nurse,
Okay.
and uh another one of my buddies, he at the time he lived here in Nashville, but he was a guidance counselor, and so the schools were shut down, and it was also summer, so like he came back to the hometown and was staying at his grandmother's house, and living there. She had passed, and so he's just holding on. He's just hanging out at the house, but it's like his grandmother's house, the hospital, and a wood fence. But we would be on the back porch at like 12 o'clock in the afternoon, like drinking a beer or something. And then here come, our buddy just like decked out in like COVID gear, like
Yeah,
going in the hospital. And it was like he was having the worst
dude.
summer of his life.
And y'all already
And
chilling.
we're just like hanging out on the pool, just like waving at him while he's like going into
Dude,
work to
wow,
like
that's brutal.
take care of like COVID patients and
Hey,
stuff.
salute to him though.
But yeah, dude, hero.
Hero, absolutely.
But we talk about it all the time how like COVID summer was like one of the best summers. And it
Yeah,
wasn't because of what was going on, it was because of what we got to do.
like what you
It was
make
like
of
we
it,
were in
right?
high school, man.
Yeah,
It was like being in high school.
100%.
Everything stopped and slowed down, and all you did was just hang out with your buddies.
Yep.
And like it was the most genuine feeling
Yeah,
that we've all had in years.
100%.
Because,
Puts things in perspective real quick, doesn't
dude,
it?
like how great would it be if like it could be like that all the time?
Man,
Like social media is one of the worst. It's one of the best things and it's one of the worst things ever.
yep.
Um, and because I mean, then like nobody was going and doing anything, so nobody was on social media.
Yep.
And so like you didn't care.
Yeah.
And like we were having like family come over and like having like a fish fry, like, because nobody could do anything.
Mhm.
So but it reminded me of like in the 90s when we would go over to somebody's houses um almost every weekend and have like a big cookout.
Mhm.
And like nobody does that anymore.
Mhm.
And that's what it reminded me of. And I was like, dude, what if this comes back? Like, what if this is obviously it wasn't, but it
Yeah.
was like, how great would it be to be able to like do this again?
Yeah.
Like the 90s was the last great decade.
Sure. I agree.
It was. I mean,
Mhm.
like the 90s should have never ended.
Y2K was a real thing.
Dude, in a way that nobody thought, like it was real. It was the end of the world for sure.
Man.
But it was, I mean, it was we just had a lot of fun. And like we had shrimp bowls at the pool, and like we would have 20 people over there, but it was like all of our buddies and their
Yeah.
wives or girlfriends or
Did people get
whatever.
sick?
No, dude.
Dude, same. All right.
Nobody got sick. Like, um,
Yeah,
I
we need to
don't
knock on wood on that. But for
right.
sure.
I mean, I think we've all had it
Mhm.
since, but like during the height of it, like
Y'all were chilling.
nobody got it.
Got you.
And I mean, granted, we're in a
Yeah.
smaller area, but like people were getting it.
Sure.
Like, and once it hits a small area, it's gonna hit everybody.
Sure.
But dude, like none of us ever got it that I knew of. Or if we had it, we didn't know.
Yeah. Feel that.
So anyway, I got off track on that. We were talking about the 90s and how great everything was. And so
Summer of COVID. Wrapping up.
That's when I was working at Lowe's, that's when I was like, dude, I think this is like a calling for me to like circle back and try to go to the SEALs.
Wow.
So that like I thought that was
How old were you at that point?
At this point I'm 30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doing the math. Sorry.
No, you're good. So yeah. So 30 in 2020. So man, I have such a huge respect, for the military and special operations and and that kind of goes back to that same thing where it's like going into the military wasn't good enough. Like if I was gonna do it, I was gonna be the best, like or at least try to be the best.
Yeah.
Um and go to the most dangerous thing you can do. Or,
Damn. Where's that come from, man? I mean, you've said that multiple times. Like,
I don't know.
I mean, like sports wise, were you like uber competitive day one?
I mean, when I was young, for sure. Dude.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Like,
same.
Like I'd lose a card game and like hit a wall or something,
Like I feel you, man. I feel you.
Like, and it's funny because it's like I'm never like angry at other people. I'm just angry at myself.
Yes,
for
100%.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, 1000%.
If I lose, like it's on me.
A
In my
hundred,
mind, it's like it's my fault
100%.
or like I should have done better or could have done
Mhm.
better. Um,
Yeah, that's real.
but I don't really know like where that comes from. Exactly. Uh I just like if I'm gonna do something like challenging, I want to be challenged.
That's fair.
Um and I want to be like I don't like being like a tier 2 or
Sure.
like anything like that. Like if I want to be the best, if I'm going to go do something that you have an option to be the best.
Yeah, that's real, man. I
Um
respect that.
I and like going back to I mean it's like the same with bull riding. Like I should not have bull rode. I'm 8 inches too tall and like I can't control my body like a 5'6" guy.
Right.
Like I just can't.
Yeah.
But I was like, well, I mean,
Pretty
yeah, I
athletic.
was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not gonna like,
Yeah.
be a baby and like go do something that's a little less dangerous or
Sure.
whatever. So it's like I'll just, I want to do the stuff that not everybody wants to do,
I respect
if
that.
that makes sense. That's what
100%.
it is. Like
Yeah.
I want to do stuff that not
It's
everybody wants to or can.
yeah.
Um,
It's just
and
called being great, really.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, like I'm not,
A little
I'm
bit of
not gonna,
crazy,
like,
a little bit
it's
of
mostly
crazy, a little
crazy.
bit of crazy,
Yeah,
and a
it's
whole lot of
mostly
great.
just
No, I
like
feel
just
that,
being
man.
dumb
I
and going after, shooting for the stars is what
That's
it
great,
is.
man.
Like
I respect the
it,
heck out of
that's
that.
just what it is. And but yeah, so like like wanted to be a SEAL and like I was like, dude, I think this is what I'm supposed to do. In my mind, like I told myself like this is what I'm supposed to do. And like not dating anybody and like the world's kind of coming to an end, it seems like. And I was like, dude, I want to be trained with the best in case this does happen so I can protect the people that I love.
Damn,
That's what it was. I mean, like,
that's
because I
real.
mean, we all know what was going on in 2020. Like, the way that the world was going, it just seemed like everything was just about to catch on fire.
Mhm.
Um, so that was a big reason for it. And I was like, I think this is what I'm supposed to do. Like this is the full circle moment. Like
Yeah.
I got to do all of this stuff when I was in my 20s, and I've come right back to where it all originally all started was wanting to be going to the SEALs when I was like 21 years old.
Wow.
Um, but so and so I had started training, and at this point, I uh, downloaded a uh, like a training manual. It's called Seal Grinder PT, and uh, he's a former SEAL that created this, but he's got different workout plans for different things, and like one's buds prepare everything that you can think of, like swimming tutorials, how to be a better swimmer, how to do all of this stuff. So it's like a 300-day workout program.
Wow.
And dude, it is legit. Like it's hard. Like workouts are 2 hours minimum. Like it's wild. It's like you think you're done, and it's like then there's a 4 mile run at the end of it.
No,
And
sorry. I ain't got it like
so,
that.
but dude, and like, and at the time, it's like I don't care,
You
how
were
bad it
in. You were locked in.
sucks. It's like if I don't do this, like I'm never gonna make it. Like,
Wow.
because at this point I'm like 30 years old, and it's not as easy
No.
for me
No,
as it
it's
was when
not.
I was
No, it's
21.
not. Then right
Eh,
there, yeah. It's really
So
not at 37.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude, no, yeah, dude, at 33, it's like I
Yeah.
wake up every day. I'm just like, dude,
E
why am I so sore?
Yeah.
Like this is stupid.
Yeah, I feel you.
It's like I just ate breakfast. I'm just like,
I did laundry yesterday.
yeah,
No,
I
I'm
was
just
like, I just ate yesterday. It's it. But yeah, dude, it's so. But I still felt great, at 30. And so like I was doing these workouts religious, and um, and every because when you're training with a purpose, it's
Totally
fun.
different, yeah.
Dude, like when you're training with a purpose, like it doesn't matter what you're having to do. you just do it.
Yeah.
Like, you just like, I call it going into zombie mode, like, you just shut your brain off and just let your body go.
Damn.
And, because it's gonna suck, and your brain will quit a lot quicker than your body will. So, it's a lot easier, like, when you're in those pain situations and it's like, "Dude, I've got another run," like, whatever. It's like, you gotta do it anyway, so might
That's
as well just
commendable,
go.
man. That's awesome.
So, um, but so doing all this training, like, ready to go, and I'm talking to a spec ops recruiter out of Brentwood, actually. And so this is all, we've kind of gone through 2020 and gotten into the spring of 2021.
Okay.
Like, did all that training throughout the summer and the fall, and the winter. And so and I've called, and dude, and it's kind of funny. It's like, even when you're talking to recruiters, some of them will try to, like, already get in your head about, like, going into the SEALs. And so I've had a recruiter that was like, "Well, you're a little too tall to be a SEAL. It's like most of your SEALs are shorter guys, and stockier." It's funny because, like, I'm buddies with a SEAL, that works out the same gym that I do, or a former SEAL, and he's my height. Like,
Yeah.
he's a big dude, and it's just like, but it's like they already start, like, feeding that, like, into your brain to, like, see if you're like, "Oh, well, maybe I don't want to do," like,
Yeah.
automatically, like, into
A little
recruitment.
doubt, little seed of doubt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he was like, you're, I can't remember how this got brought, but he's like, "You thought about," it's like the ASVAB score or something was good. So he's like, "You thought about being, like, a nuclear submarinist?" And I was like,
No.
"No, dude, like,
Sounds
being in a nuclear sub for,
no.
like, absolute," and that's the
No.
worst thing I could think of.
That
Um,
doesn't sound like a good thing for tall people
dude,
either, right? Like,
yeah, can you imagine being underwater? Like, I don't know
nah,
how they
dude.
do that.
I
It's a
don't play with open water,
it
bro.
takes a special
Uh-uh.
person
Nah.
to be a submarinist.
Hell no. Mm-mm.
It is wild.
That's
Like,
literally like one of my biggest fears
you're
is
in you're in a water coffin
yeah.
for
Mhm.
months.
Nah, all the way good.
Yeah. Like, you
All the
don't
way
see the
good.
light of day
No,
at
dude, no
times.
chance.
Like, it's crazy.
Uh-uh.
Dude, they're special people. Like,
Yeah,
that's intense. And yeah, like, it's like isolate. It's like crazy.
there's a
But
0% chance.
so, like, I mean, they would do stuff like
Yeah,
that,
sure.
try to push you out of it.
Yeah.
But that started off that way. But anyway, I had uh gotten the contract to go to buy. It's not a SEAL contract. Like, you don't get a contract that says you get to be a SEAL. It's like you get a contract to get to go to buds.
Yeah.
Um so and I had a buddy that went through buds, and he got medically rolled twice. So once you get medically rolled twice, you're out.
What does that mean? Just
So
like you
he get like, if you get hurt, like, to a
oh,
point where you can't continue,
yeah.
or have to have surgery or anything like that, you get rolled back. So,
Oh,
and then
snap.
if you have that happen again to where you get hurt to where you can't continue,
Done.
yeah, you're out. But,
Damn.
like, he actually uh he got a really cool deal out of it. He's a really good dude, and they knew that he wanted to do the job. Like, this wasn't like a glorification thing for him. It was
It was
like
in his soul,
he
yeah.
wanted to be a
Mhm.
sit. Like, he
Yeah.
wanted to do the job. And the instructor, like, from what he was telling me, and the instructors, and some of his buddies, like, the instructors, like, saw that, and they thought he was a great dude too.
That's
And
awesome.
so he got to do a lot of really cool stuff, like, even not being a SEAL. Like, he got to do a lot of stuff for the SEALs, and, like,
That's sick.
and alongside with them, and, like, sniper team stuff. Like,
Whoa.
dude, he got to do some super cool stuff. But so if I had a question or anything like that, like, I'd call him.
Nice.
And if he didn't know the answer, he would call one of his buddies that was active, and he would get the answer from me. So,
Damn.
so I was able to get the contract to go to Buds, and it might have been, um, it was like right after that, like, the spec ops recruiter from Brentwood called me and was like, "Hey, man, we're gonna have to drop your contract." I was like, "Why is that?" And so I had to have an age waiver. The cutoff's 28 to go
Mm.
in, and if you pass the PT and all that, the entrance PT and all that, you can get an age waiver. So I was able to get an age waiver. He was like, dude, they're dropping all contracts for anybody with waivers. And I was like, well, what's going on? And he's like, they've just got so many people wanting to go in to be a SEAL or going into buds that they're dropping
Dang,
all
it's
contracts.
kind of surprising.
Well, so what happened is like that's when like Goggins
Oh,
blew up,
gotcha.
and
Dang, dude, that's wild.
and like Jocko and
Sure.
like all these huge heavy hitting SEALs, and everybody wants to be Goggins,
Yeah,
So
it's a
like
wild
you
boy.
had like so many people like wanting to go, which is great for
Yeah,
buds. Like it's
yeah,
awesome, and it's great for the military. And I mean, I say that 90% of them probably
yeah. Aren't gonna make it.
yeah
Yeah,
aren't gonna make it, but it's great that like that they've got enough people wanting to go into special forces and do that. And but so anyway, like I never you know never like got to sign the contract or anything like that to go. So it dropped immediately.
man,
Um and so like,
another door
another
close.
door,
Yeah,
it's like that's what I thought I was supposed to do. And I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And
yeah.
um but so after that, and I was doing like personal training at this point and like teaching boxing and stuff like that. And at title boxing. So at that point, um, it was 2021, so I'm 31 now. And at that point, it's like, dude, I'm like, I need to like get something going. And so I was like, well, maybe I can like start my own business, and like the original idea was to have like a workout program, like something similar to like
What you did.
what I was
Yeah,
doing,
sure.
that's like extensive workout
Hmm.
programs and, like for people that are trying to do stuff, beyond just a normal workout. So that's when the idea of like me starting a business came about, but I had no idea, how to even get involved with any of this stuff.
Hmm.
Um, so, um, 2021 and, uh so like at that point I was like contemplating on like what I need to call the company, like what am I gonna name it? Well, like dude, this is like one of the crazier things. Um uh so I this was, let's see, that was in the spring, so this was that summer. So that summer I had I had a dream one night and I was like sitting around a table. Um, and it was like other like special forces operators, and I guess like that's just what was in my mind at the time. But anyway, we're like, what are we gonna call this company? And like one of them in my dream is like, dude, you need to call it Alpha Tenn, but spell it Tenn, like
Love that.
Tennessee.
Hell yeah.
And it was like in a dream.
That's awesome.
So like I woke up and I was like, dude, it's gonna be Alpha Tenn. And that's like how the name stuck and
That's
like
so
where
cool.
it came from. And
Dude, that's like Dave.
dude, yeah, like so you've heard that story, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
amazing.
about like it's the
One
chocolate, right?
wasn't it like two? I
Dude,
thought it was
yeah,
like 2 weeks in a row or something.
yeah,
Dave,
like
yeah,
he was like he had just
super
like,
vivid. Like you're
yeah,
supposed to do
a
this. Yeah.
vision, and
Hmm.
it was like, well, you wake up and it's
Hmm.
there, like, and that's like a lot of times you don't remember
Yeah.
important dreams or like dreams that you
100%.
think are
Yeah. I'm
cool. And
terrible at it. Yeah.
yeah, it's like the dreams you want to remember, like you
Yeah.
forget.
100%.
And so like it was kind of crazy that like I did that and like woke up and it was immediately like
You just
opposite.
knew it.
And like
That's
I
sick.
can still remember every like part of that
Dude,
dream.
that's wild.
And yeah, it was a very like vivid vivid dream. And so that's kind of how it started. Um and and then we'll fast forward about 4 months or so, 4 or 5 months. So like I'm still like training and doing stuff like that. And then I decide, well, since I want to start a company, but I also still want to go into the military. And um, I had I decided that I was going to go into the 20th group, Green Berets.
Oh, snap.
And the 20th group is National Guard. So you have like you still gotta do all the prerequisites and the requirements and go to the Q course and all that stuff to be a Green Beret. But once you get through Green Beret, you have your life outside of the military, and
Yeah.
then just like a National Guard does.
Nice.
And I thought that would be the best case for me, seeing as I wanted to start up my own business. But anyway, so that's how you know, that part came in, and so I went to Birmingham to do the Special Forces evaluation, all that stuff, and to get the contract for that. And that's 2 weeks later, just right at it, the vaccine mandate comes out for the military. So I decided to drop all that and another door,
Yeah.
It's like stuff that's out of your control that you
Is that
can't.
just on some research you did and or
What's
just
that?
the vaccine stuff, if you don't mind me asking? Just is that
Why I didn't do it? Man,
just the freedom aspect too? 'Cause
yeah, it's like I never believed in it.
yeah, I get that.
And like the way that they were pushing it, like
Scary.
I
Yeah.
knew it was like there's something
Something up.
to this.
Yep.
Like
You don't have to get too much into that.
no,
I
like
was just curious.
no, like I mean I don't care too if you
Yeah,
don't care too, but
right.
it's just like I mean I think I'm the only one in my family that didn't
Yeah.
take it.
Mhm.
Like and I'm not the type to like make emotional decisions.
Sure.
And I feel like that's a lot of people were doing
100%.
were, getting scared or it's getting shoved down your throat so much that you just at some point you're gonna be like, oh, maybe I need to do that.
Mhm. It's
Um,
yeah.
I just never jumped on
Good for you.
the train.
Yeah,
And
I'm with
I'm the type of person that's like I don't like to be forced
I
or told
respect.
I have to do something.
Yeah.
Like
This is America.
like still to the like still to this day,
Yeah.
like I mean that's kind of what we're founded on is
Exactly. No,
not
I'm
wanting to
with
be forced to do things
exactly.
and told what to do. So, but um, I just I'm not knocking anybody that took it. Like some people probably needed it. I
Mhm.
mean, it might have helped some people, but I just I don't like being I mean it's essentially what it was. Like I didn't like being told I had to do it, and so I'm already gonna be defiant because of that.
Yeah, I feel you on that for
But
sure.
I'm that way like with anything.
Yeah.
Like
Sorry.
if you tell me you've got like I've got to do something,
I'm not gonna do it.
I'm more than likely not gonna do it.
That's
If you
fair.
ask me nicely, like
I
I'll do
might.
it.
I
Yeah.
might.
It's like, dude, it's like
Don't
if you
tell
just
me.
ask me,
Yeah.
like more than likely I'll do it. But
Right.
if you're like
You
telling
have
me
to.
I've got to do something, especially when it's and
So
like it,
experimental.
well,
I mean,
see, dude, and like at this point, it's like I'm already hitting this like
super
super
peak.
clean.
Super peak
Yeah,
athlete.
yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah. And like this super clean, like I'm very conscious about what I'm putting in my body.
Yeah.
And and dude, I don't I don't even take pain med. Like
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
taking any pharmaceutical
Oh, I
stuff.
feel you.
I just don't.
Yeah.
And it's like I would rather my body fight itself, like
Yeah.
fight that
It's,
stuff
it
itself
does a great job
than
of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
so like taking a vaccine that has uh zero data on it or
Hmm.
like any kind of adverse effects, which dude, I don't know. I'm sure there's some people that, didn't have any problem with it, but I know a lot of people that had like serious side effects from it.
100%.
Like my brother-in-law, his neck like stiffened up and he couldn't like move his neck, like head side to side for like a week or two.
Yeah.
Like just crazy
Weird
stuff
stuff
like
all
that.
over the
Yeah, it's
place. Yeah.
weird, like
Now I'm with you,
weird,
man.
crazy
Trust me.
stuff. So
We can move on, but I
yeah,
feel you.
yeah,
I
yeah.
feel you for
Well,
sure.
I mean, yeah, I guess
No.
everybody can get on that train. But yeah, so that's why
Yeah.
like I didn't want to be forced to do something like that.
Yeah.
And I wasn't in. So, it wasn't like one of those things where like you're
You
getting
wouldn't.
kicked out if you don't do it.
Right.
So like it was kind of an easy decision for me.
Sure. Got you.
But I know a lot of like I know a lot of guys that got out because of it.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm really good buddies with a guy that was in the 20th group actually, and he got out. Same reason, you know, like he wasn't gonna, you know, do that but so, you know, that door shut in my face, and dude, at this point, like I'm lost. You know, like because I think like I thought the military was what I'm supposed to do in my
Yeah,
life, um, and I thought that was, you know, I thought that was the path that like God was, you know, putting me on,
100%.
and so, you know, you get into you get into a deep place when you don't know what your purpose is.
It's a really bad
It's
spot.
a bad spot to
Yep.
be in. And there's a lot of
I feel like
people
we
that
all had a version of that.
it's weird. It's
Through
crazy, dude. Like the last
everybody
3 years,
everybody had a
everybody's
version of
hit
that. Yeah,
some sort of version of like they don't know what to do.
100%.
Um,
Or it just makes you question everything. You know, like
dude,
it was a weird time. I
it's
definitely had that. Like, I mean, I was in real estate,
yeah,
finally like built a big pipe or like a solid pipeline.
right.
It was just gone.
Door
Like,
shuts, dude.
and I had a pretty serious panic attack, and
Yeah.
you know, just
Oh, dude.
went to the woods and walked for about 6 miles, came out, and was like, all right, let's push record. You know, like, and then I went all in on
Dude,
this.
that's
And
awesome.
yeah,
Like,
it's pretty
that's
cool.
cool.
It's a pretty cool story.
That
But
is
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Like,
And I'm so grateful for it, man. Like, it's changed my life in like every way possible.
right.
Yeah. So,
Dude, those nature walks are real.
oh, 100%. It was rainy
There,
that day.
dude, there's something like on a spiritual level about just
Dude, that's
like
exactly what it
shutting
was.
off.
Left my phone in the
Yeah.
car, had
Yeah,
some
yeah.
rain gear, had my
Yeah.
boots on.
Dude, you take a
Just,
walk
I
in the
don't think I saw a
woods.
single person.
Dude,
Maybe one dude
you
the whole
take
time
a
walking 6
walk in
miles.
the
Yeah, dude.
woods,
It
like
was spiritual for sure.
you
Came
have a
out and it was
spiritual
glorious. Not a
dude.
cloud in the sky. Made it just in time to go record at this holistic health place. I was
Yeah.
talking about how they're helping all these people through COVID and
Yeah.
through all this stuff. I'm like, I just need to be behind this board, like telling people like this is actually happening too.
Yeah.
Like this is actually working. And
Dude.
it was LT360 and
Yeah.
eBars is, you
Yeah.
know, it's talk about full circle.
Yep.
So yeah, man,
Dude,
I feel you.
It's a real deal.
Yeah.
And it's one of like the most like cleansing thing. And like that's that's my favorite time of the day. Like, so I love turkey hunting.
Nice.
And I look forward to that so much because you get to go out into the woods and it's like dead quiet.
Yeah.
It's the sun's just about to come up, and dude, you can just sit there and you like get
Feel
this
God.
feeling over you.
100%.
And it's the most calming, peaceful thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, I freaking love that.
Me too.
That's cool. It's so cool to like
Mm-hmm.
hear other people that are like, dude, I went and took a walk in the woods, and
It's all I needed to do.
all you have to do.
And then you get back.